Okay, I gotta go to bed. It's about 11:30 West Coast time on Wednesday, August 27th. We're about 17 days away. Uh, no, not even. We're like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks away, which I guess would be about 17 days. From TikTok's new community guidelines kicking in. They released them a couple of weeks ago. They go into effect in a couple of weeks. There are going to be stricter rules for people who do lives. Uh, there's some stuff about business stuff, selling stuff. I don't know what that stuff is. But there's been the new community guidelines contain some incredibly broad language about uh, getting violations for criticizing politicians or by endorsing or promoting dangerous groups. It's incredibly broad language that you can apply to any number of conflicts that are going on in the world, or to criticizing politicians here at home in the United States, and potentially rack up an enormous number of community guideline violations, and then your account gets banned. And I, given my review of these things, I'm pretty much expecting my main account to get banned almost immediately after September 13th, because all of that stuff is stuff that I talk about in almost every video that I make. And, one of the new content creator or one of the new content moderators for TikTok is someone who has previously fought in the Israeli Defense Forces, the Israeli Army. And now this person is going to have a tremendous amount of authority over what content is and is not acceptable on TikTok. And bear in mind that late 2023, early 2024, not long after October 7th, 2023, Jonathan Greenblatt of the Anti-Defamation League was recorded on a phone conference saying that we have a generational problem, we have a TikTok problem. And he was referring to the influence that TikTok was having in turning younger generations away from supporting Israel. I have been speaking out against the actions of the Israeli government, the policies of the Israeli government and the Israeli military, and what they've been doing inside the Gaza Strip to Palestinian civilians since October of 2023. There is language within these new community guidelines that could determine that all of that content is now objectionable and is unacceptable. A lot of almost all of my content is political and contentious in that manner, and whether it's speaking about domestic political issues or international political issues. So this on the screen, that's my at YouTube, or you can just go search this on YouTube and find my YouTube page. If I lose my account here, I lose my account here, and that's I will be exclusively on YouTube and Patreon from that point forward. Um, I'm being told by people who have had meetings with people from TikTok that we're not going to be permitted to discuss upcoming elections, that we're not going to be permitted to criticize politicians locally or globally, that TikTok is making efforts to appease the Trump administration going into its sale that's coming up. And and I mean, I did a TikTok about this a couple days ago. I don't know what's true or what's not with regard to TikTok being sold in September and then going away in March and being replaced with a new American only app called M2. But one thing that seems pretty clear is that TikTok is about to undergo some very, very dramatic changes, and that the parent company is trying to clean up the app and make it G rated in the short term to appease the Trump administration and to facilitate its sale to an American company, American group of investors. I think that it's going to be changed irreparably. I think that you're going to see the accounts of political creators, creators who talk about news and politics, creators who talk about anything related to the Trump administration or Israel and Gaza or Russia and Ukraine. I think those creators are going to start losing their accounts with an alarming speed beginning on September 13th. And we're just 2.5 weeks away from that. That'll make me sad. I mean, I've had a pretty bumpy ride on this app over the last 4 years. But overall, on balance, I've enjoyed my time on TikTok tremendously. And I enjoy the ease at which TikTok allows me to interact with other creators and to meet other creators and to interact with people who follow me in the comments and things like that. I'm going to miss all of that a lot, but I firmly believe that 3 weeks from now, TikTok is going to be rendered more or less unusable for people who talk about politics, news, and the law. And, no such restrictions have landed on YouTube yet. And so if I do lose my TikTok account, that's where you can find me on YouTube. And we've been growing our YouTube page pretty exponentially this year. We just passed 500,000 followers a week and a half ago. And that's a huge accomplishment. And I appreciate everybody from here who has followed me over there. But the future's not looking good for TikTok, for people who make the kind of content that I make and so many other people who I follow, the kind of content that they make on this app. I think we're all going to get scrubbed from TikTok, and I think that's going to happen very, very quickly after September 13th when these new guidelines kick in. I'm a little sad. I'm a little not. I'm going to miss a lot of the people that I've met on this app. I'm going to do everything I can to keep in touch with those folks. It's a little harder to have that kind of interaction over on YouTube, but I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks just making sure that I've got names and phone numbers for everybody who I want to keep in touch with. But again, you can find me here on YouTube. We'll see what happens.